everybody, it's Scarlet Pete here, self-sufficiency, and we're still with the knitting series. Just thought I'd tell you we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. We've got a dodgy needle. Can you see there in that seam? There's something a bit wonky about that stitch line. Just there. If I turn it over this way, you can see it seems to have been puckering, tucking, and just not stitching correctly there. So I made a note of how many stitches I was working on. It was about 81 stitches here. So this is about the 79th needle then that's got an issue. This is my Knitmaster Model 700, the Rolls-Royce of knitting machines that aren't electric anyhow. And here is the problem. Can you see? We have a problem here with this needle. It needs changing. The latch here on these ones are free flowing. They go up and down and you can flick them backwards and forwards very happily. But this one, let's see if we can zoom in, put them side by side. This one will bend down and flat pack and it will open like that. This one will open, but look, it won't quite close. It won't close together and it won't open this way because there's a bend here. Now if we were without needles and really desperate, we could try and bend it, but a bent needle, when you try and fix it, will always cause you problems. It is far better to take that needle out. So you're going to say, well, how on earth do you get that needle out of here? I remember when my first needle went wrong, my dad took to my knitting machine with a screwdriver and started unscrewing the bed of the knitting machine to try and get in here. Like, no, don't do that. What you actually do is take out the sponge bar. Now I've pulled the sponge bar out so you can see. But what we use is something round like this with a flat end. This one's not too flat, but flat-ended. And you poke it through this hole here, where you will see the end of the sponge bar. You'll find the end of the sponge bar. It has an orange plastic on, and that's what you look for here. You'll just see a tiny bit of orange sticking out. And if it's on this side of the machine, you would want to push that bar that way and pull it out. It would push out and you'd have a bit here and you just pull it out this way. If it's on this end, you would push it this way. But as my cupboard's in the way, and I didn't want to hit my cupboard or move my machine further, I've pulled it all the way out here. So let's get on with pulling this needle out. Where's it gone? Where's that naughty needle? There it is. Get you in focus. So what we do, we pull it forwards. We push down here, which means the back will stick out. But look, it hits the machine. Well, knitting machines have a great design with their needle. Let's go to the side here. Can you see it's got a bend in the middle? It's springy and it opens a little bit here so we can lift this out and pull it out. But what if we couldn't get it out? That's where I would use a pair of pliers very carefully. You don't want to bend the bed. So say this needle's bent all the way around here. You could actually put it to one side, making sure that this, put it out all into holding position, making sure that this butt is not going to get lost. You can, if you have to, clip the needle off, hold the end with some pliers, lift and pull out. You can also do the same this way. If it's bent down here, you can manage to get it to stick up, but maybe it's bent here. Then you would hold the pliers here somewhere, and making sure the latch is closed, you would then pull and extract the needle out very carefully this way, lifting up and pulling it out, and trying you very hard is not to damage this bed. The needle is expendable, but the bed isn't. I hope that really helps you. So I should just get on and get someone else to hold the camera while I take this out in one sweep for you to see. So here we have the needle. We're going to push it all the way out. We're going to close the latch. We're going to push down here, pushing back, making the needle rise here. Put your finger underneath and get it oily at the same time. I'll do it with my fingertips so you can see. Bending it so it lifts above the plastics of the machine. You can really bend it, so don't be nervous. And flick it out. Try not to bend it sideways. Pull it out. There we have the machine needle. And there we have the bend I was saying. It will spring in the middle. a little bit. Now I need to find a new needle. Let me see, where's my new needle? Here we have our packets of needles. We've got the ribbon needles and the standard gauge knitting needles for the top bed. You can buy them off eBay quite reasonably. This is a brand new, sparkly new one. So to put it back into the machine, we open the latch. You see, it's open. We go, where's the hole? There's the hole. My camera assistance disappeared. I'm going to have to do this on my own. Oh, I was doing it one-handed, I'll show you, and left-handed as well. Push it through, making sure that latch is open. Find the line that's empty, push it through, and aim to the front here. And all you need to do, once it's through there, is push. And it's nearly in. Can you see the back's just sticking up now? Fiddle with it so it sinks down. You might have to put, on some machines you push down and scoop when you push it back. On some you just push back. This one's locked, so no, you have to push down and scoop it back. The needle is now in. Now, one thing we should do with the bent needle, where have I put it? So we never accidentally put this back in our machine. What you should do is fully bend it so you know that is a wonky needle. Don't use it again. They're never worth trying to recycle. Just never worth it. So now what we have to do is push the sponge bar back in. Now some machines, when you're pushing it back in, you need to push down the needles here at the front whilst pushing the sponge bar in. Making sure all the needles are back into their working position. Put the bed right. Oops, oh, something stuck here. Right, so they're all there. And all we're going to do is push that along. Now make sure you don't push it across the bed in an angle and going to the back. If anything, you have to slightly push it this way as you're pushing it straight along, pushing this way, because remember, you are aiming to come back out in this hole here. Here's the sponge bar, just to show you. And this has had a new sponge fitted on it that I fitted the other day. Doesn't that look smart? If your machine sponge bar is completely flat, like this one, look at the side profile of that, side by side. Can you see? This one has no sponge left in it. This will not work well. This one works beautifully. So, time to put it back in. It's nearly in, and if you look along the bed here, you'll see a point where the needles are up. They're not being pushed down by the sponge bar, and here they're in place, exactly where they need to be pressed down. So on some machines, when they're sticking up like this, the sponge bar will hit the side of the needle in the bed and won't go any further, and that's when you have to have a comb to push them down and push in the sponge bar at the same time. But with this one, I don't need to do that. Right at the end, we just push it all the way, just so you can just see the yellow bit sticking out. So if we'd have been starting this operation here, we'd have used a tool to push through to about here. Then on the other side we would have enough to grab with our fingers and pull out all the way. I hope that helps you. It's quite an easy thing to do, to change a needle, but it can be a bit scary if it gets stuck in your bed. But remember, you can snip it and clip it and pull it out if need be. Just try not to drop the bits in the machine bed, but even then you can get into it if you have to. Take care everyone, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and share, and join us next time. And go and check some of the videos that I've done. I've got a whole series on machine knitting know-how, teaching you right from the beginning how to be self-sufficient in your own designer knitwear by learning to machine knit. Bye bye, take care.